Hi guys, welcome to SavvyMoneyShow. Me, your host Sean. Thank you for giving up your precious time to watch this video. We're going to be talking about what stocks I'm buying and the ones that I'm selling and my reasons why. I'm not like some of these subscription based models because I think your money that goes into subscriptions is better placed in investments. I have a free Discord, although I do have a premium service which is £5 a month for watch list of the day, access to me and a whole host of other extras. Thank you to anyone who has donated via my Buy Me a Coffee app, links down below with a whole host of other links. You get a free share from £10 to £200. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment in the box below and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, BP. Why am I picking it up? For those of you who have been long-term followers, I have been playing BP for a while since the pandemic. When gas turned negative, and whenever I've sold, I've just held our shares. I understand why Shell would be interested in, because buying these licenses and drilling comes with huge risks, and it's getting harder and harder. Much better to take over a company that's already producing. Also, with Shell, they make so much money that the way they operate is, on paper, they're not making money. They're not making as much profit because they invest a lot of it into investments for down the line, and then they claim back on the tax relief. I think BP is the perfect fit for them. It would be the biggest merger since ExxonMobil if it goes through, because the Fair Trade Commission may not, and the Competitions Market Authority may not allow it because it will become too big. However, their argument would be ExxonMobil. So I would like to know your thoughts. Put them down below. Now, this is a company that gives a 6.7% dividend, and we can see here it did go up quite high on the news. I didn't buy it on the news, as I never buy it on takeover rumours. And then it came down to only gaining 1.7%, and it's come back to what it was before, when a member of Shell came out and said they're not in talks. However, they were only supposed to be in early talks. If they're this early, they could halt talks and come back to the table like a week or a month down the line. I apologise for background noise. I am outside. It is unavoidable at this point. And you see here, this is what companies like Shell look at. They under 60 billion market cap, the enterprise value is 84 billion. That's what they look at when they're looking at a takeover target. That is the main thing, to make sure they're getting value for money. They will then look at other metrics such as barrels of oil producing, which fields are producing, and what licenses they own, and how close they are to producing, and how many barrels of oil expected, or BOE. And you see the PE is under 30. Price to sales 0.44, which is to be expected, and price to book 1.33. Now, they take them over you will expect that dividend, of course, will come under shells. So they will be getting all that money. You will see that the liabilities is covered, and the current liabilities is covered by the current assets, and there should be no problem here. They have 10 billion free cash flow. This is a massive company, and when you consider that they wrote down the Russian assets, that they still have those agreements in place, that if the Ukraine-Russian they are still contracts. So if Ukraine and Russia conflict ends tomorrow, and Russia suddenly wants to negotiate to enter the world market, those contracts, there could still be a place for them, for a company to enforce them. Of course, they may not be enforceable because of the way BP exited, but we'll have to see. I just think at the moment it pays out a good dividend. It's under its valuation is under the market value, and market cap's under the enterprise value. The cost of producing a barrel of oil for them is cheaper than some of the others. If I was Shell, I would be looking at the likes of Aker in Norway. But I'm not sure if the Norwegian government would allow them to take over an asset like that. But you never know. So I would like to know your thoughts. Are you in BP? Are you in Shell? Or are you looking to get into them? Next one is one I've done a deep dive on before, GTLB. They're a growth machine. They are not profitable to the point of dividend, but they're an AI company. Everyone went crazy over them a couple of years ago, and before they had their initial run up, I flagged them up, and I have to admit I sold out way too early, because I expected a run up, but I never expected a run up so much, because it just coincided with the AI bubble. Now I said under 50 I like it, under 45 I like it even more. When it hits 40 I'm picking up more and more, but at 40 to 43 mark is where I'm buying. It does have risks attached to it, but I do think it's I do think it's a good long-term hold. Now, Beam Therapeutics. Beam had nothing but good news come out. Yeah, and it has had a bit of a bump because the likes of Ark Invest accumulating more, but it has a bump and then comes back down. It's a massive amount of money on its books, and it's there's no way it should be below. I said before, there's no way it should be below 20, and right now when it's below 17, I'm buying. Prime, now it's running up. David Liu's accumulating more and more shares. Now you have to wonder, are they stock options or is he paying market price? But that's not for me to deliberate. I had an average price at 132 because if you remember, I loaded the boat and it was 115, 125, and I become overexposed. They could run out of money. I don't think they will. Just dilute or come up with a partnership, sell off a percentage. But I've had to trim my position. To pull out my investment and just leave some. Continue. As I said in the other video, when it hit 225, pulled out my initial investment and left the rest house shares. When it got up to 250, I pulled out another 10%. I'd like to know what you guys think. I'm still bullish on this long term, but I'm not going to overexpose myself. Another company I did a deep dive on, and another growth machine in the AI space, EPAM. If you want to go back and watch my video on AI companies I'm looking at, this is it. It's come down to a level I'm willing to start, and the other one, DigitalOcean, and it's didn't come up, sorry. My internet's a bit. There we go. As I said, if it hits the right thing, I'm buying it. It came under my price target. I'd like it better at 25, but I'm starting another position here. I flagged it up before because on the quadrant it's one of the leaders, and I think this is one that goes unnoticed. As soon as people notice it, it's gonna double, triple, or even quadruple. Now, it finally became time for me to go into another UK stock. Now, I made a quick 5% on my Quidco position. If you remember, Quidco went down 15%, and I said it's way too low. Sorry, I don't know what's happening with the internet today. And just picked up some cake box. There's a 5% dividend and a 15 PE. The insiders have increased their holdings, but they are one of the biggest egg-free cake makers in UK, and the franchises are everywhere. I still don't know why they don't take action against those who kind of do the fake shops that make them look like theirs. Or maybe they're worried about an M&S calling the caterpillar issue. However, the fact of the matter is, they charge a lot of money, in my opinion, for the cakes, and people are buying them. They have huge margins on the cakes, and they make money. It's pure and simple. They're always opening up new stores. They're not standing still. They're not making a mistake that Dr. Martens do in order to increase margins. They outsource to a cheaper area. I have to say that Hollywood Bowl is looking interesting on this dip. I am researching it to see if it does fit my criteria, but it is looking good at the moment. Let me know what you guys are looking at, and I'll see you in the next video.